الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Quran, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you was to count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will never ever be able to. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وَآتَاكُمْ مِن كُلِّ مَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you every single thing that you have asked for. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, أَلَمْ تَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ سَخَّرَ لَكُم مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَأَسْبَغَ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعَمَهُ ظَاهِرَةً وَبَاطِنَةً. And do you not see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided you all, that which is in the heavens and likewise in the earth. And He has given you the blessings that are inwardly and likewise outwardly. Brothers and sisters, if we just stop for a moment and we just ponder and contemplate all the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, from the things that we might not ever even think about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَاللَّهُ أَخْرَجَكُم مِّن بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken you out the wombs of your mothers and you didn't know anything at all. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. And He has given you hearing, He has given you a heart, He has likewise given you sight. So only that you may thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is just an introduction before I go on to the topic that we're going to be speaking about today. And I like to remind the people of these ayat, because wallahi, brothers and sisters, we tend to look down or not even remember these bounties that I want to mention now. You know, when we see a young boy who's blind or who's deaf or who's not able to walk properly, or he has some mental issues, you find that the majority of Muslims, anyone that has some sort of humiliation or intellect or has any softness within him, he begins to feel sorry for this individual. One might start crying. One might even begin to feel very, very sorry for that little boy who's not able to see or who's not able to hear. So the question that is put forth, imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested any of us with not being able to see or being able to hear some of these necessities that we have today, that we take for granted. And brothers and sisters, we might think to ourselves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us in the way that we are, and that we're going to stay like this and nothing is going to happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us in the Quran, وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ. If only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just willed, and we know that if Allah wants something, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونَ. If Allah wants something, He say kun, be, and it becomes. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَذَهَبَ بِسَمْعِهِمْ وَأَبْصَارِهِمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed, He would have removed your hearing and likewise your sight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able of everything. So these jawarih, these body parts that we tend to belittle, and we use these body parts to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine, wallahi, brothers and sisters, just contemplate upon this, that you step outside today, forget about next week, next month, next year, you step out of this building today. What's this building called again? It was called Caesar, sah? Cursor. You walk out the Cursor building and you step onto the road without you expecting, you get hit by a car. And some of these body parts that we have today, wallahi brothers and sisters, it's happened to people before us and is going to happen to people after us. It's not something that is jadid, something that is guaranteed not to happen to an individual. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala time and time again, He keeps telling the ibad, I have given you this, I have given you that, I have given you this. If I want, I can just take these things away from you. يا أيها الناس أنتم الفقراء إلى الله والله هو الغني الحميد إن يشاء يذهبكم ويأتي بخلق جديد. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, He'll remove every single person from this earth and He'll bring another person or another people. Simple as that. It's not hard upon Allah Azza wa Jal. He tells us, Antum al-fuqara. Rather He tells us, you lot are the one that is in need of Allah Azza wa Jal. The whole point is, brothers and sisters, please just ponder upon the bounties, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not take what we have for granted. And at the same time, we use the blessings that we have been given. It might not look to you as a blessing, but you disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with these hands, with these ears, with this sight that you have, and with the rest of your body parts. Especially in the kind of environment that we're in today, where it's very, very easy to step out of line. I'm not talking about stepping out of line from the rules and regulations that were set by the university, because they'll deal with you lot. Rather, what I'm speaking about is the hudud, the limits that have been set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we're going to come on to later inshallah ta'ala, some of the hurumatillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala that is violated and what it leads to, and that which is requested from us to do. And as the brothers, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve them, they mentioned that they wanted the lecture to be knowledge, about knowledge, and how the knowledge honors an individual, and some of the benefits and virtues of knowledge. Naam, so inshallah ta'ala, I'll be touching on to that inshallah ta'ala as we move on into the lecture. Brothers, I wanted to start the lecture with something that I recently saw, and it was very, very disturbing. Very, very disturbing for all of us. Someone showed me a video on Facebook. I think it was in Saudi Arabia or in another Arab country, where a man's going around with a camera interviewing little kids. Interviewing little kids. He's asking the little kids, the first question that he asked them, can you tell me about 5 football players? 5 football players. The kid gets excited. Ronaldo, Messi, Gerrard, this, ila akhirih. Straight away. The second question that comes after, just tell me 5 of the best of the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim. 5 of the best. And it's very, very sorry to say, wallahi, it's very, very sad and sorry to say, brothers and sisters, that a lot of our youth and our youngsters, they are not able to answer this question. But when it comes to all these other football players, whether it's Messi, whether it's Ronaldo, whether it's this singer, whether it's that singer, we know them inside out. Our little kids, wallahi, our little kids, you ask them the characters of our Peppa Pig, they are able to tell you from start to finish. 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. And it's a serious matter. The khinzir that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made haram. إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمَ الْمَيْتَةَ وَالدَّمَ وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ. It is known in the religion بِالضُّرُورَةِ, with necessity, that the khinzir is something that is impermissible. Jazakallah khair. But our youngsters, our youth, they know the characters inside out. You go to GTA, memorize it from top to bottom, where the places are, what he has to do, the plan that he has to take, which section to go into, which section to come out. I've seen this with my own close relatives, And it's very, very sorry to say, brothers. But when it comes to the basics of our religion, wallahi, the basics of our religion, the fundamentals, things like knowing the 5 best companions of the Prophet ﷺ, the people we need to imitate, the people that carried the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the Prophet ﷺ. Our youth can't answer it. Brothers and sisters, I'll ask you a question. If our kids today, they are comfortable with a pig, and they are comfortable with Harry Potter, having a magic wand, the fairy godmother, Cinderella, which we're going to come on to later inshallah ta'ala, even though it might not look as a big deal, some of the things that it necessitates. And if we just look at it deeply and analyze the situation and how some of these Disneyland programs come on, some of the things that come on there, if we was to just analyze it and look at some ayat, forget about looking at many ayat, some ayat from the Quran, some hadith from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the position it holds in our religion. Billahi alayk, brothers and sisters, I ask you, if our kids today, they don't find a problem in these things, then do you really think when they grow up, that they are going to look down at these things? They are going to look at it in a negative way? Or they are going to tell their children and the people around them that this is haram, this is not correct? And brothers and sisters, I always put emphasis on this, the issue of seeking knowledge. Wallahi, all of us are in need of seeking knowledge. You have 2 types of jahl, 2 types of ignorance. One that is totally blameworthy, the jahlun murakkab. Whatever you tell him, whatever you try to advise him with, he doesn't want to know. Arrogance, kibir, inad, hard-headed, he doesn't want to know, whatever you tell him. And you have the jahlun basit, the jahil that is basit. The ignorant individual, he knows that he's ignorant. And every single person that walks upon this earth is ignorant to such an extent. He's called jahlun basit. And he learns his religion. He learns his religion. And nobody here that walks upon this earth has encompassed knowledge in its totality. Whether it is the biggest scholar that is walking upon the face of the earth today, whether it was Shaykh Uthaymeen, Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, whether it was Imam al-Shafi'i, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Ahmed, and the rest of the great A'immah, there is no one that has encompassed all of knowledge. Everyone is jahil basit to some extent. Forget about thinking about ourselves. Brothers, think about not your children, but also your grandchildren. The question that you need to put forth to yourself, if I personally do not learn the basics of my religion, and I'll give you an example, the definition of Islam. Some of us, one time I did a little survey, I stood outside the masjid after one of the salat and I asked some of the kids there, tell me the meaning of Islam. And wallahi brothers, I do not intend to attack anyone, I'm not attacking anyone, I'm not belittling the little kids as well, rather I teach them, na'am, and it's just something that we need to take into consideration and take heed. And look into it further, to try and change it. I start asking them, what is the definition of Islam? Forget about knowing the virtues of knowledge, virtues of Ashura, virtues of Al-Hajj, Siyam, forget about all of that. What is the meaning of Islam? You have been born in an Islamic family, you claim to be Muslim, tell me now, what is the meaning of Islam? Some of them they said peace, some of them they said way of life. To some extent is right, but what is the definition of Islam? 99.9% of the kids that I ask, nobody knows that meaning. Someone might be thinking to himself, wallahi, I ain't got kids, I don't plan to have kids, I don't want any kids. I don't even plan to get married anytime soon. So this is not something that I am looking into at the very moment. Brothers and sisters, this lecture is directly directed to those with kids and to those without kids, especially those that don't have kids. Why? Is there more emphasis on that? Because the one that has done the, or the one that has kids, he might have reached the stage where he doesn't have the ability to do anything to his kids. And a lot of the blame, it goes back to the father and the mother. The father and the mother, when you look at a lot of the families, the father and the mother, you find that he didn't take the time out. You find sometimes that the parents, because they have some guilt in them, they've got some guilt inside them, they take the kids, they dump them into madrasa. Because they know they have to establish something with their kids. They have to do something with them. You're a Muslim, you need to teach your kids al-Islam. But himself, he will never come and sit down with his kids and say to them, what breaks your wudu? Teach them the salah properly. Rather, it's just about dumping them there simply because he feels guilty. And then we get phone calls, wallahi, my son doesn't listen to me. My daughter doesn't listen to me. The question that we need to ask ourselves, what did you do to try and nurture? Wallahi, brothers, I've seen Somali father or Somali mother. The kid, he doesn't understand them. And I know a brother, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala, he's translating between them two. Imagine the father and the kid. They don't understand each other's language because there's no interaction between them. Wakes up in the morning, goes to school and he comes back. The parent, she's in her own world. The father, he's busy with his business, doing whatever he's doing. And the kid, he's in his own world as well. The brother, wallahi ikhwani, he told me he's translating between his father and the son. He's a translator. They can't understand each other because the parent, she doesn't know English, and the kid, he only knows English. Brothers and sisters, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned in hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar, on the authority of Abdullah ibn Umar, which was narrated by Imam Bukhari, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Every single person is a shepherd, and he is in charge of his flock. The father, the mother, anyone that has been given responsibility, he is like a shepherd that has been given responsibility over his flock. The Prophet ﷺ said in another hadith, ما من أحد يسترعيه لا رعية يموت يوم يموت. Never did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place a responsibility on anyone. وفي رواية ولم يحطها بنصحه. It came in a narration and he didn't advise them accordingly. He didn't give them the correct advice. He never taught them the salat. He never taught them the basic fundamentals of his religion. The day when he dies, يموت يوم يموت وهو غاش لهم إلا حرم الله عليه الجنة. He dies as a deceiver. He's deceived his family. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the Jannah haram upon this individual. Simply because what? He didn't establish the correct advice towards them. It's very, very nice. Having a kid is the best feeling in the world. As many say, many with children, they say this. It is the best feeling. I only start loving my wife after I have a kid with her. It's a great feeling. Everybody wants to have kids, have a family, and take on from there. It's a ni'mah. But at the same time, it can backfire really, really badly. It could be the reason why your kids are hoping for your death in order to take your money. And it could be on the other hand that they are making dua for you while you are in your grave, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is raising you every single time they make dua for you. How many have we seen? How many have you seen? Wallah, he's wishing that his father and his mother, they pass away, so he can inherit the little money that they've left behind, and he can maybe pay back his debt, or he can start a new life, and he can do this and he can do that. There's another hadith. A man will come on Yawm al-Qiyamah. A man will come on Yawm al-Qiyamah, and he's being elevated. So he says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Bima ya Rab, why are you elevating me? What did I do? So it will be said to him, Bi istighfari waladik. Because your son is making dua for you, he's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's making dua that you become forgiven. So you're being elevated. How does this happen? By making our house a cinema. Day and night, everybody's just watching film where filth and balaya comes on. Or by making your house a qibla. وَاجْعَلْ بُيُوتُكُمْ قِبَلًا وَاجْعَلُوا بُيُوتُكُمْ قِبَلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and Harun to make your house a qibla. Make your house a qibla. Teach your family. Teach them the basics of their religion. Teach them what's right and what's wrong. Today you have many people that come out on the streets, we need to establish khilafah, khilafah, khilafah. And everyone's ranting on the road. Khilafah, we need to establish the khilafah. And when they're coming out, maybe his wife is not dressed up properly, she's not wearing a hijab. Maybe himself, he's a drug dealer. And they're doing the rest of the ma'asi and they're calling to khilafah. Why don't you start the khilafah in your house? Teach your family, establish the khilafah in your house, teach your family. And then talk about the khilafah that you want to be established. Look at the prayer at Fajr time. Look at the Fajr prayer. How many people come out? And how many people come out when protesting? I remember in Yemen, when the revolution took place, thousands and thousands and thousands of people are coming out. You go to the masjid in Fajr time, what happened to the khilafah? Establishing the khilafah. One line, two line, and the people are coming out in their thousands, tens of thousands, calling to the khilafah. That's why the ulama time and time again they say, you teach your family, give da'wah to yourself, teach yourself. Rectify your community. Rectify your community. And then inshallah ta'ala, that will be established. None of the prophets ever came and spoke about the issue of al-khilafah. Not one. Wala Nuh established the khilafah. Wala Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is going to come on Yawm al-Qiyamah by himself. The main objective was never ever to them to establish a khilafah. Rather it was to teach yourself, teach your families, call to a tawheed, and then take on from there. Even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the beginning of time they came to him, Ya Rasulullah, we'll give you the money, we'll make you the most honorable of us. Quraysh came to him. He goes, Allah, I don't want it, Jazakallah khair. He carried on calling to tawheed. He carried on calling to rectifying the people around him, his family. His uncle, he carried on and he carried on and he carried on. And his uncle never accepted. What did he call his uncle to? Ta'al ya uncle, let's establish the khilafah. We need to establish the khilafah. Until his deathbed he's saying to him, قُل لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Say La ilaha illallah. كَلِمَةً أُحَاجِبِكَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. A statement on Yawm al-Qiyamah. I will fight on your behalf. Just say it. He died upon his kufr. The whole point is, brothers and sisters, the importance of establishing your religion, learning it, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to rectify ourselves and the people around us in trying to establish the religion. And again, brothers and sisters, I ask you again, have you ever thought about this question? How are my kids going to turn out if I have kids now? And me, myself, I don't know the basics of my religion. And then our grandchildren. Brothers and sisters, let's not lie to ourselves. Our brothers and sisters, our kids, majority of the time they're not with us. They are not inside our hands. They are inside the schools. I don't need to tell any of you lot what they teach inside the schools, the habits that a person comes out with. I personally went to school as well. I know what happens. They come to them in RE. They say to them, Akhi, draw your God. You draw your God. When everyone's drawn their God, Akhi, where's your God? To the Muslim. His God looks like this. Okay, fine. He drew a statue. He drew Jesus because that's his God. How's your God? How does your God look like? That means you ain't got a God. From a very, very young age, they start picking up bad habits. From the moment they come home, everyone's tired. The kid is trying to do this, the kid's trying to do that. He needs the rest. When do you teach him? Wallahi, brothers and sisters, it's a responsibility upon every single person. You have to teach yourself. And the importance, I ask you, when mas'alatun nazila, like a contemporary matter comes to you now, it's very, very serious. And I'll use as an example the issue just recently happened about ISIS. When many Muslims, they left Britain, they went to go and fight. How are you going to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong without knowledge? If we look at a lot of these people that have gone to ISIS now, their situation, and some of the things that they're doing now, you find that the main reason of it is lack of knowledge. It's just emotions. A lot of emotions, a lot of hype. Maybe some of them, they had enough of their lives. Hey, they couldn't find a job. They went there in order to die as a shaheed. Shortcut to Jannah. A lot of it goes back to lack of knowledge. You say to them, Akhi, listen to the ulama, the scholars are here. No, we got proofs and evidence, forget about the scholars. As if he is able to differentiate between how to use this dalil, this ayah or this hadith properly. If I ask maybe a random individual now, why is ISIS not upon the correct path? Wallahi, a lot of people are not going to be able to answer. And they're coming to you with ayat, ahadith, all the ayat of jihad, all the ahadith of jihad. Why are you not establishing jihad? Rather, that which they are known for, is to cut off from the ulama. And all of this goes back to lack of knowledge. The ulama that you've been asked to go back to seek knowledge from, to learn the basics of your religion, you cut them off. And brothers and sisters know this. Alamatun bariza, a clear-cut trait of the Khawarij that have been mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ to be from the dogs of the hellfire, that they cut themselves off from the ulama. Once you find a person trying to disconnect the people from the ulama, alamatun bariza, it is a clear sign from the signs of the Khawarij. Exactly what they did. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you, وَإِذَا جَاءَهُمْ أَمْرٌ مِنَ الْأَمْنِ أَوْ الْخَوْفِ يَذَعُوا بِهِ. When matters pertaining public safety and public fear come to you, then take it back to the scholars. And he defamed them. What do they start doing? They start taking matters into their own hands. They've given up fatwa. They've started, you find everybody comes on Facebook. Everyone's given fatwa. Wallahi, the hukum is like this guy is like this. Wallahi, this guy is a kafir, this guy is an innovator. Everyone's become mufti now on Facebook. And those that actually pack their bags and they get off, majority, 99.9% are those that haven't studied the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The point is, again, is lack of knowledge. Look at the Khawarij at the time of Ibn Abbas. Look at the time of the Khawarij. Ibn Abbas came to debate them. He came to debate who? The Khawarij. They were basically in a place called Harura. They cut off from the Muslims. They cut off from the ulama. Ibn Abbas went to them and he said to them, not one muhajiri, wala one ansar is with you lot. Not one from the muhajirin. The muhajirun are those that immigrated with the Prophet ﷺ. No one ansari is with you lot. And exactly the same way here, cut off from the ulama. And some of them, wallahi, they solely believe that they're going to Jannah if they die. It's a sad situation. It's a sad situation. All of it goes back to lack of knowledge. Brothers and sisters, one other important thing that I want to mention is very, very easy to get caught up with uni life. I personally myself, I'm studying university, I'm studying a degree in civil engineering. Please, nobody get the impression that I'm saying, leave the university, forget about your degree, take that shahada and stuff it down the bin. I'm not saying any of that. The point that I'm trying to say, very, very easy to get caught up. Very, very easy. we have to ask ourselves, wallahi brothers, the shahada that I'm working for, this degree that I'm working for, that I'm giving so much emphasis, I'm putting all my time, my effort, and I'm leaving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala behind. When is the last time that I woke up in the morning? We wake up in the morning, wallahi, the phone's like this. We're dropping the phone. Or thinking about, oh, how am I going to do my dissertation? How am I going to hand it in? How many words am I going to do? What am I going to add? What am I going to take out? I need to get this degree. From the moment that we wake up all the way to the moment that we sleep, we're thinking about a degree, some of us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger, they have become what? Secondary. He's no more longer the priority. He's become secondary. When is the last time we thought about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? From the moment that we woke up. And brothers and sisters, that's the reason why this dunya, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, "Ad-dunya mal'una." This dunya is what? It is cursed. And everything in it is cursed. كُلُّ مَا فِيهَا وَهُوَ مَلْعُونٌ. مَلْعُونٌ مَا فِيهَا. And then he exempted a few things. إِلَّا ذِكْرَ اللَّهِ وَمَا وَالَاهُ وَعَالِمًا أَوْ مُتَعَلِّمًا. One that is studying his religion. One that is calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving da'wah. And the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason why it is mal'oon, it is cursed, because it has busied every single one of us from where? The main priority, which is to establish your religion in the best possible manner. Ask yourself, your salat, the salat that you have, who takes priority? Do you pray your salat in its correct time, or you say to yourself, "Akhi, wallahi, let me do my exam, or let me do this, let me revise for my exam, let me carry on doing my studies, and inshallah ta'ala I'm going to come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ba'dain." Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned, if you really want to know your position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَعْرِفْ مَقَامَكَ فَانْظُرْ فِي مَا أَقَامَكَ. If you really want to know your position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then know where you are with Allah azza wa jal. Where you are. What is your reaction time? As soon as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command comes, where is your reaction time? Are you giving priority to your studies, or are you giving priority to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Wallahi, this certificate, ya ikhwan, is not going to come inside our grave. 4 years, 5 years, 6 years that we're studying, wallahi, thumma billahi, thumma tallah, is not coming in our grave. And عند الله subhanahu wa ta'ala لا يزن عند الله جناح بعوضة. This certificate that we have is not going to weigh with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even the weight of the wing of a mosquito. Imagine so much emphasis that you're giving to some of your studies. And the time of salat, and you know the salah is being established now. The salah is being established this very moment. And you decide to carry on. And you die while holding a pen. Brothers and sisters, this is from the Salaf. From the people of the past. Who have something called the Husnul Khatima. A good ending. And there's from those who had the bad ending. And very, very quickly, Abu Hatim al-Razi, rahimahullah ta'ala, from the Immatul Huda wa Masabih al-Duja. How did he die? They were so involved in knowledge. While he's dying, he's mentioning a hadith. His story ended, how did it end? He was revising the hadith, Man kana akhiru kalamihi la ilaha illallah. And he ended like that. You know, when someone is dying, you do something called talqeen. You repeat the La ilaha illallah to him in a very, very gentle manner. If he says something after the La ilaha illallah, you have to start it again. The hadith is Man kana akhiru kalamihi la ilaha illallah dakhala al-jannah. Dakhala al-jannah comes after La ilaha illallah. Abu Hatim al-Razi, he didn't even have a chance to say the end part of the hadith. And he died like that. Someone that was involved in knowledge, day and night studying, teaching. And brothers, وَمَنْ أَكْثَرَ مِنْ شَيْءٍ مَاتَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ مَاتَ عَلَيْهِ بُعِثَ عَلَيْهِ. Someone, when he's doing something excessively, he's most likely to die in that way. And on Yawm al-Qiyamah, he's resurrected like that. So the majority of your action, do you really want there to be a possibility that you are going to die and you have a pen in your hand, or you have a mobile phone in your hand, you're constantly on WhatsApp doing whatever you're doing, whatever it might be, whether the issue is mubah, mubah as in something that is permissible, or something that there's nothing wrong with it, or an ibadah min ibadatillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's bound to happen. What is the chance the guy that clubs all day night, every night is clubbing, every night, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to take his soul that very moment? Very high chance, because he's doing it all the time. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the man that the shaitan used to be scared of. He used to make dua to the Prophet, astaghfirullah, I was about to say the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He used to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma arzuqni shahadata fi sabilik, waj'al mawti bi waladi rasulik. Oh Allah, make me die as a martyr. And this is now an example of a husn al-khatimah. Oh Allah, make me die as what? As a martyr. And make my death in the city of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Umar ibn al-Khattab got stabbed up while leading the prayer, while inside the prayer. Where did he die? In Al-Madinah. Brothers, do you know, does anyone know here someone called Alan Shearer? Alan Shearer. Huh? Abdul Qadir, yeah. Okay, do you know Tupac as well? Everybody knows Tupac. And an example of a su' al-khatimah kadhalik, and I've mentioned this story time and time again. Tupac obviously is not someone that we want to imitate or take as an example, but at the same time, you can use him as an example for something evil that's taken place. Tupac, whoever's ever listened to his, his singing and his rapping and things like that, he was someone that used to excessively swear. F in this, F in that, ila akhiri, all the time. He would use the F word a lot. He gets shot. At least, ya akhwan, just look at this now, yeah? You've just been shot. You're dying. You know you're going to die with the situation that you're in. At least snitch up the guy that killed you and shot you, so he can suffer as well. At least you could do. Anyone with an intellect is gonna at least try and bring the guy down. Why? Because he just killed you. He's just done something to you. The police are holding him. They're asking the guy who's just dying, tell us who just shot you. Tell us, we want him. What do you think he says? He tells the police to F off, and he dies like that. This is an example of a su' al-khatimah. A trustworthy brother told me about a kid who used to love Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer waking up, Alan Shearer going to sleep all the time. He's speaking about Alan Shearer. All his walls, there's pictures of Alan Shearer. His bed, the duvet, has a picture of Alan Shearer on there. And today you have a different form of, or another football players that are in the same position maybe as Alan Shearer at the time, people like Ronaldo and Messi and etc., that a lot of our brothers and youth and youngsters, they really, really love and are attached to. The kid is dying. The kid is dying. The Shaykh comes to him and he says to him, just say La ilaha illallah. Say the kalima La ilaha illallah. If I was to ask every single person here today to say La ilaha illallah, no one's going to find any difficulty. We can all say it without fail. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Nobody here can't say it. Forget about what I'm saying. The ulama of the past, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions in his kitab Ad-Da' wa Dawa, how some people, when it came to the time of their death, the mashayikh, the people around them are saying to them, just say La ilaha illallah. Say La ilaha illallah. Nothing else. Do you know what they're saying? Checkmate, rookie, na'am, some of the moves that you have on a chess game. Another one is saying tatinta, tatinta, irrational singing. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned this 100 years ago. And we still hear it today. My mother, she said to me that a close friend told her, a guy that really, a Muslim brother that really liked a girl. He liked her very much. On his deathbed, the Shaykh comes to him and he tells him, Ya akhi, just say La ilaha illallah. He's repeating the girl's name time and time again. Bring her to me. Someone that used to do zina with her, illegal sexual intercourse, used to have intimacy with her in an unlawful way, very close to her. On his deathbed, people are saying to you, say La ilaha illallah, and you can't say it. An example of a su'al khatimah. So you ask yourselves, brothers and sisters, do I want to die an evil death? Or do I want to die with a pen in my hand, studying for my university? And like I said, brothers, wallahi, please do not understand that I'm saying to you that university, you shouldn't study. I personally, I'm studying as well at the very moment. I just started last year, after I took a very long time out. But where's our priority? Even if we give emphasis to this, there's no problem in that. But does that mean it's going to affect our main objective that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed me and you upon this earth? That's a problem. Ikhwani, there's a cure for every disease. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, "Ma anzal Allahu da'an illa wa anzala ma'a dawa." There's not an illness, a disease or a sickness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought down except that there's a cure for it. Even though some of the doctors, they might not know the... Now, 10 more minutes. I haven't even started my lecture yet. I just got carried away speaking about another matter. Afwan ikhwan. What was I saying? Naam, even cancer that they have here, cancer. Even though some of the doctors, they might not have the knowledge of how to cure it, or HIV and things like that, but there's still a cure for it. And watch, sooner or later, they're going to find something for it. The point is, brothers and sisters, this dunya that we have today is a sickness. And the Prophet ﷺ told us everything in it is cursed, except for a few things. And if you look at the majority of the Muslims, people are stuck up. Whether it's doing this or whether it's doing that. Everyone's just stuck up. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has become secondary. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has become secondary. The cure for this is, the sickness and thing that we have become stuck in, is the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he said, "Man kanat ad-dunya hammahu, farraqa Allahu alayhi amrah, wa ja'ala faqrahu bayna 'aynayhi." Brothers and sisters, if someone wants to really become a millionaire, someone really wants to become someone that has money, someone that has wealth, and to be well off, and the dunya to be dragged to him, forget about him chasing it. As they say, get money or die trying. People are chasing the money, and they're happy to die while actually chasing the money. Study the Sharia, and you'll find many causes and means in where you can maybe get an increase in your provision and the money that you have. And here is one of them. The Prophet mentioned, whoever makes the dunya his main objective, that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to split his matters. He's going to make it fall apart. When you start making the dunya your main objective. وَجَعَلَ فَقْرَهُ بَيْنَ عَيْنَيْهِ, and he will make the faqr, the poverty, between his eyes. وَلَمْ يَأْتِهِ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَا كُتِبَ لَهُ, and the only thing that will come to him is that which has been written down for him. Then the Prophet ﷺ says, وَمَنْ كَانَتِ الْآخِرَةُ نِيَّتَهُ جَمَعَ اللَّهُ لَهُ أَمْرَهُ. وَمَنْ كَانَتِ الْآخِرَةَ نيته جمع الله له أمره وجعل غناءه في قلبه وأتته الدنيا وهي راغمة. And whoever makes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the last day, the akhirah, his main objective, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put richness in his heart. Everything of his affairs will come together. And the dunya will become dragged to him. It'll come running after him. Forget about you running after him. Numerous examples, brothers and sisters, example after example I can give you. We can maybe sit till tomorrow and I can tell you about